Now, I see we have something on the screen. The technology gods are smiling on us so far, and we promise, I wasn't going to say human sacrifice, but some kind of, since it's spring, and all that stuff. We're about to begin, and this is Peter, who's, I started working a while ago with Peter on this next piece. It's called Spring is a Stony Partner, and it's a celebration of spring. I should mention that last poem was from Life in the Canopy, which Paul Wilson from Higius Press is here. So I was really pleased with what they did with that book. I guess it's out front there. And so I've been working with Peter, and he managed to somehow put all the music together for this piece. He's gotten into flamenco guitar in a serious way since they picked him off the dance floor and told me he better start playing for them because they needed a guitarist. And then our dancers, I want to especially thank Robin Poitras. You was mentioned before, but Johanna Bunden just joined us, and in a very short period of time, Richard Diener put together the film that's going to be projected behind us. So I think I'm supposed to say go, and things are supposed to start happening. So let's go. Spring is a stony partner, a silence with no way around it. Naked angels sing hallelujahs down from the hilltops, a seepage of light, a surface unearthed. I spend days in the land in between, the promise of an actual bird. A bow of light slips into my eyes, tips its wings, tumbles.
Spring is a stony partner, a silence with no way around it. Naked angels sing hallelujahs down from the hilltops. A seepage of light, a surface unearthed. I spend days in the land in between, the promise of an actual bird. A bow of light slips into my eyes, tips its wings, and tumbles.
An unfinished bird tips its wings, tumbles. A bow of light slips into my eyes, the promise of an actual bird. I spend days in the land in between, a surface unearthed.
A surface unearthed, a seepage of light. Naked angels sing hallelujahs down from the hilltops.
A silence with no way around it. Spring is a stony partner. Along some rivers, the heart goes dry. Ferns disappear into their roots. A brief drink of snow melt, then the wait for the promise of light June rain that never comes. Some rivers are shallow, and their warm streams feed a plain where timorous lives scurry to ground as song dogs crisscross their precarious freedom. Along some rivers, love walks in places it has not been in years. A girl lies naked on a blanket, her skin illuminated like paper in the silvery night. As she leads you into the water, the ripples she makes lick the air and the darkness. You try to embrace her, but she just wants to swim. So she escapes you again and again. Along some rivers, the galaxy sheds itself of light, an overgrown circle of stones under the tree, where your brother watched the fire all night, the last good time before he left home and was gone forever. All that remains is an invisible mass that pulls you toward it. The need for solace so deep, you mistake it for beauty. The river goes on with its winding. Some days you walk by one river, some days another. The line of the day is long. You come across machinery left for rust at the end of the scar it made in the ground, and how they grow into one another. And sure, memory is deeper than that, but it matters. The smallest change matters. Some rivers are 40 paces wide and cross half a continent. We plow right up to the edge, but something in us knows all life wants is a little water. And we remember clearly abundance, remains of the roses the wind took apart, the path we walked over and over again, as if that could save us, the stones we placed on the night along some rivers. I come to this hilltop broken, lie back in the strife of another year's grasses. I'd sink deeper if I could. My body warms the ground as the ground wraps around me and the hills roll out in long exhalations. I close my eyes, wait for the image that never seems to appear, though the masses and rivers, the corners of light, these are mine. And never mind what the eyes are windows of. I believe in looking up and falling into the place where the clouds break apart, as if they were waiting for something like this. The shush of the distant highway tells me how far away everything is. Something human in the caress of the air. 3 mornings I've woken robed in blue, in a blue room with clouds. A ferruginous hawk sails by, looks all the way through me, as she has through 1,000 skies. There's a diction of clouds that comes from lives spent in the open, scuppers and mare's tails, cirrus messages to the watched earth. The sky mostly watches itself. I sift cobalt and azure for a color that sits in the ear, but it's never quite right. There's a dark line inside me. I know it too well. My great illusion and all this chanting into emptiness. A vascular song, the push of a breath on the back of a small clump of grass, and all the inconsequential goings-on that find their way upward. They rise, and everything comes to their music. Lives in the windbreak and the yipping of tawny song dogs. Spring settles misty and gray on tongues of land that used to speak to a river, clothing the naked, relieving the thirsty. Which act of mercy? What was the land before it was landscape? Before the rumors of 10-foot tall grasses, calving ice, or the salty deltas of the Bear Paw Sea? That was before and before. The sky knows only its leaving, the weem of my presence. What should I say or paint? When dawn arrives thin as a drop of blood spreading through water, or winter sun ruptures the horizon like a white flame. A clearing storm in the west after an all-day rain. The edges of clouds glowing like heated wires. Cumulus and stratus. These are the swollen valleys and saffron fields that I walk through when I open my eyes. Spring is a stony partner, a silence with no way around it.
No way.
Naked angels sing hallelujahs down from the
Hallelujah.
hilltops. A seepage
Down
of light,
from the
seepage of
hilltops.
a surface
A seepage
unearthed.
of light.
Unearthed.
I
Down
spend days in the land in
from the
between.
I
hilltops.
spend days in the
A
land.
The
seepage
promise of an
of light.
actual bird.
A surface.
A surface.
A bow of light
Unearthed.
A bow.
slips into my
A
eyes,
bow
bow.
of light slips
tips its wings.
into my
Tips
eyes.
its
Tumbles.
wings.
Tips its
Tumbles.
wings
Tips.
and
Tumbles.
tumbles.
An unfinished bird
Tumbles.
And
tips its
Tips.
wings, tumbles.
its wings
A bow of light
and tumbles.
slips
bow
into
of
my
light.
eyes.
Bow of light
The
The
promise of an actual bird.
The promise.
of an
I
actual
spend
bird.
days in the land in between,
Days.
I spend days
a surface
Days.
in the land
unearthed,
in
Days.
between.
a seepage of
A
light.
surface.
Seepage.
Naked
Unearthed.
angels sing
Naked
hallelujahs
angels sing
down from the hilltops
Hallelujah
from the
down
hilltops.
A
from
silence.
the hilltops.
with no way around it.
Silence with me.
Spring is a stony
Stony.
partner. Thanks so much.